I could be almost in the Italian Riviera here at Trentham Gardens near Stoke-on-Trent. The focal point of these Italian gardens at Trentham is the magnificent lake by Capability Brown, nearly 1 mile long. And at the end of this central avenue stands this rather terrifying statue of Perseus holding the severed head of Medusa. There's been a building on this site for at least 1,000 years. It was originally an Augustinian priory, and then it became a convent. But after the dissolution of the monasteries, it was sold to a wool merchant to Wolverhampton called James Leveson, who built a house here in 1634. That in turn was demolished in the 18th century, and a Georgian mansion was built on this site. And 100 years after that, the site was acquired by the second Duke of Sutherland, who commissioned Sir Charles Barry, who was at the time working on the rebuild of the Houses of Parliament in London. Charles Barry built a magnificent mansion on this site in the Italianate style, and the focal point was a campanile tower. Now, the top of that tower still exists, but not here. I discovered it a few weeks ago when I was walking through the grounds at Trentham Park, about 10 miles to the south, where it was re-erected in the grounds as a focal point from Sandon Hall. By the 20th century, these gardens had fallen into disrepair. The lake had silted up. The River Trent, which fed the lake, was bringing pollution, effluent from Stoke-on-Trent, and it became a pretty unpleasant place. And so the Sutherlands abandoned the house, and a few years later it was demolished. And these are the steps that once led to the garden front of Sir Charles Barry's Italianate mansion. And this is all that remains today of what was once the grand entrance to Trentham Hall. From here, you just get a sense of how vast this house would have been, taking up all that space from the service wing over there to the conservatory and entrance hall. In 2009, the gardens were sold to St. Modwin Developments. In 2004, they started this major garden restoration project, which has resulted in these wonderful Italian gardens being brought back to life. St. Modwin Developments plan to build a hotel as a replica of the original house. They've got the planning consent. Unfortunately, they haven't got the money, and then the pandemic came along and that delayed things even more. But hopefully, in the not too distant future, we will see Charles Barry's masterpiece re-erected in this magnificent location.